All right, welcome everyone. We'll call to order this meeting of council of the municipality of Murraysville. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, do a roll call.
Mr. Stepanovich,
Here.
Mrs. Ling,
Present.
Mr. McKenna,
Here.
Mr. Diakopoulos,
Here.
Mr. Dice, Mr. Olszewski,
Here.
Mr. Lemak, Mayor Sinan.
Here. Announcement of any unlisted amendments?
No unlisted amendments this evening.
Nothing tonight on that. Next, we'll move on to consent calendar items. That would be the approval of the April 3rd, 2024 minutes, the accounts payable, and the cash investments and transfers. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, Carl and Matt, thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Consent calendar items have been approved. Next, we'll move on to comments by the mayor. Mayor Sinan?
Thanks, Mr. McKenna. We have some slides tonight.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Just one on my screen yet. Okay. Get ready. Summer's here. The Murraysville Recreation Department is excited for summer. Lots of programs have been scheduled for the summer and registration is open. Visit MurraysvillePARecreation.com to find out more information and to register. Next up, we have it's Murraysville Cleanup Week, April 15th through April 20th, Pleasant Valley Landfill. The municipality of Murraysville's residents may take items to the Valley Landfill on PB Road from April 15th through the 19th during the hours of 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. and on Saturday, April 20th from 7 to 11 a.m. Permit passes are available at the reception desk, 4100 Sardis Road, Murraysville, and you do have to have the passes for them to accept the work. Next up is the 26th annual Blessing of the Bikes. That's this Sunday, April 21st. There's free coffee and donuts and free ride pins. All bikers are welcome. Sunday, April 21st, Murraysville Alliance Church, 4130 Old William Penn Highway. You want to get there sometime between 11 and noon. It generally starts right after noon if you do want to attend. And it's well attended and parking's difficult, so the earlier you get there, the better off your chances are. Next is Curbside Leaf Collection Program. Schedule a pickup one of these dates listed below. Well, there's only one date left. It's spring, Saturday, April 27th. There's a 20-bag limit. You do have to fill out the Curbside Leaf Collection Program form on the website at murraysville.com for them to pick up, because they will not pick up just because you leave your bags out. You have to be on the list. One other important thing coming up on Saturday, April 27th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we'll be participating in National Drug Take Back Day, and we'll be doing an that word doesn't look right. A not legible registration plate event. Does your vehicle registration plate look like this? On the same day, as you can see, a lot of the plates are peeling and coming off. If yours looks like that, you have to fill out a form, MV 46-723 form. This has to be signed by a police officer so that he deems it, and then it will be free. They'll get a free one. A registration plate is deemed illegible when one or more numbers or letters cannot be recognized from 50 feet, or the registration plate shows any blistering, peeling, or discoloration. I believe, and one more slide, Michael, I don't think there was supposed to be. Okay, I'll bring it up next meeting. Anyways, just what happened is the Scouts were up on Scout Knob over the weekend, Troops 208, 205, and the Cubs were with them. Troops 213 and 205 did a great job cleaning up Scouting Knob over the weekend. Thank you for that. And that concludes my comments.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor. Comments by the Chief Administrator, Mike?
Sure, just a couple for this evening. Public Works is still looking for summer help. If anybody is aware, if there's anybody that's looking for some summer work, we are looking to fill those positions. Also in the Public Works Department, they are doing the work at the Duff Park parking lot. They did run into some issues there, subsurface, hit some, I guess, some thick rock, and it slowed down the project a little bit. So we asked the community to have some patience there as they work through that project and work to get the water lines and other utilities installed as well. So that's it for this month. Updated at the May 1st meeting.
All right. Next up, we have community input. Anyone signed up? Thank you, Rita. We have Brandon McCullough. If you could please just state your name and address for the record.
Sure, my name is
You have 3 minutes.
sure. My name's Brandon McCullough. My address is 6001 Kingdom Court, Murraysville, PA 15668. I'm here on behalf of the Lions Run Estates Homeowners Association. I'm the vice president of the Homeowners Association. For those that may not be aware, we're a neighborhood off of Trafford Road consisting of 51 homes and 55 condominiums located in the municipality. I'm here to discuss and bring to council's attention an incident involving actually happened back in June of 2022 regarding sediment that was discharged down the slope onto our property during clean out of a retention pond that is owned and serviced by the municipality. I know some of the council members might be aware of this. I've spoken to Mr. Nestico about it, written to the municipality about this a number of times now. So I'm not sure what the knowledge base is here. I can give you all a very quick rundown here, given my limited time. But essentially, the municipality owns a retention pond in our neighborhood. It's completely surrounded by homeowners association-owned common property. During the clean out of the project, hundreds of yards of cubic yards of sediment and mud were taken out of that retention pond, and rather than being trucked off as contracted by the municipality by its contractor, Pugliano Construction, this was overseen by KU Resources. Instead of trucking it off, it was dumped onto our property without our consent, without our permission, without our knowledge. And since that's happened, we've demanded that the municipality, KU, Pugliano remediate this situation, come to us with a long-term remediation plan, relieve us of liability, give us some assurance the slope isn't going to slip. This did cause a slide onto Trafford Road, which closed it. There remains Jersey barriers in place on Trafford Road. If you're driving down Trafford Road towards the turnpike, you'll see Jersey barriers there. They're still there to this day, 23 months later. There's filter socks holding back erosion at the top of the crest of the slope before it heads down towards Trafford Road. Those things were all put in place without our knowledge, permission, after this event happened. We've written the municipality, we've called people. I spoke to Mr. Morrison, who was the chief administrator. I believe at that time, it was right around the time Mr. Nestico came on board. We were told that there was going to be a long-term remediation plan developed, would come to us with it. Never happened. It's 23 months it's happened. It's passed since that's happened, and we're kind of stuck here holding the bag. We've been since forced to hire our own engineering firm at significant cost. That engineer has now given us an estimate of around $275,000 to go down there and remove the sediment. It should have never been there. It's a significant cost for a neighborhood like ours and a homeowners association that we shouldn't have to bear. It wasn't our fault for this incident. We believe the responsibility is on the municipality, its contractors. So you may be asking, what do we want you all to do at this point? I think there's many options. I've proposed meetings. We haven't been able to get those arranged. There's insurance companies for KU, Pugliano involved. They've been not willing to take much action. I think what the municipality can do is a few things. One, the municipality could step up, do this remediation itself, go after those other parties if they believe they're responsible. This can be done in-house through Public Works, internal engineering. You could hire outside engineering consultants or contractors to do it. It should be somebody else's cost, not ours. So that's option one. Option two is you all can take legal action against KU Resources, your outside engineer who was the project manager, or Pugliano Construction that admitted to dumping this down the hill. It's in writing. We have it. We have all the emails. We did a right to know request. We have a large evidence trail here that shows what was done. So that's an option. You all could go after them. The municipality has taken no action. It's just sitting back and essentially done nothing here. Third, you could come to us with a proposal of how to potentially resolve this without going, we could come up with some agreement to monitor or keep things in the current place so long as we're relieved of responsibility. We have significant concerns of future liability here because this can continue to slide down the hill. There's a stream about 20 feet away from where this mud flows onto Trafford Road, and it's being held back by Jersey barriers. Drove by the other day, there's still mud up against the Jersey barriers. This is not a long-term solution that's in place. Something needs to be done about it, and the statute of limitations for us to file a lawsuit against the municipality, KU, Pugliano, runs on June 1st. So if this doesn't get resolved by then, we are going to be forced to sue everyone. We don't want to do it. We've had to budget significant amounts of money into our homeowners association budget for legal costs and engineering fees. We don't think us as 100-plus residents and taxpayers of municipalities should be responsible for those fees, be forced to incur those fees when this was not our fault in any way, shape, or form. So I urge the municipality to take some action here. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Great, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
For the good of the order, is there anyone here that isn't signed up that would like to make a public comment? Come on forward. If you don't mind, just state your name and your address for the record.
I'm not a Murraysville resident, so I don't know if that matters. I'll still give you my address.
Yeah, I mean, the public comment is for Murraysville
Murraysville
residents.
resident.
She's our representative from Republic.
Republic
Oh,
Services.
yeah.
She did notify
Make
us
an
that she was
exception
going to potentially come to the meeting this evening.
Sure. Go ahead.
So I'll try not to take my 3 minutes. I just wanted to come
Please state your
tonight.
name, though, and address for the record.
Okay, sure. So my name is Renee Shipley. I am with Republic Services. My address is 399 Calvary Church Road in Acme. I live near Seven Springs. So, but I am your representative through Republic Services. So I just wanted to come tonight and introduce myself to you all and just give you a very brief update on some of the things that Republic as a whole across the nation is the industry's changing. And so I just wanted to keep you informed of some of those really exciting things that are happening so that you can be proud of who you're partnering with to have your trash and recycling picked up. So one of the things that we are on the cusp of is we are finding a way to introduce true circularity into our recycling by means of polymer centers. And again, I won't spend a lot of time on this because I know I'm limited, but if you want to hear more about any of these things, please reach out, let me know. I'd be happy to sit down and talk with you further about them. We are also introducing electric vehicles into our fleet, and we do hope by 2030 to have about 50 to 75% of our fleet electrified. Now, that may not happen so much around here, but that is one of the things that we are working on, as well as some landfill gas to energy projects and some other things that we are trying to do to improve our communities and really be a good partner with your sustainability goals. And another thing I want you to know is we now are not just a trash and recycling company. We are moving into the environmental services space. So if you have an incident that happens within the municipality, say there's a spill, say that there's some sort of natural disaster that hits the municipality hard and you need to clean up, or maybe there's something going on at a structure that you didn't know about and you have to now remediate that, we can help you with that. It's just a simple phone call to me. We can get some things in motion. Things like hazardous material cleanup, if there's a spill, something like that. I mean, we were one of the first responders to East Palestine when that happened, so things like that happen. And people aren't always prepared to have a response in place. If you need that, we can provide that for you. So there's just a lot of things that are going on that are exciting for us, and I just wanted to come introduce myself tonight, share them with you, and I'll stick around, give you my business cards, and talk with anybody who might have further questions.
Great, thank you.
Yes.
One question, as far as recycling TVs and old computers, currently you don't do that.
We do.
Oh, you do?
Yes, it's just a phone call to us, and we will give the resident a date, and you put it out at the curb, and we do pick it up, and it does get recycled. It goes to ELOOP.
Okay. When did that start?
That started a couple of contracts ago.
Yeah, because you can't just put it out. But you have
Correct.
to call and then they'll schedule a
Good.
date. and
Yes.
you can put it out that day. Because it's like a different truck that
It,
comes.
Okay.
it is a different truck. It's a different completely, well, it may be coincidentally on your same pickup day, but it is a different truck. It goes to a different place.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, great. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate
You're
it.
so welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. Next, we'll go to liaison comments and committee reports. Carl, we'll start with you.
There was a meeting of the Murraysville Parks and Recreation Foundation on April 8th. Just a statistic, the ending balance of the foundation is $98,848.93. What was mentioned, not enacted, or if you will, but a corporate sponsorship program, the levels being platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. And the idea is that the platinum obviously would have an amount per month or an annual amount higher than the gold, which is higher than the silver, which is higher than the bronze. But it's an incentive certainly for corporations to participate in sponsorship. And the various levels, what do you get for your money? Well, basically electronic signage, parking at particular events, various, signage, different types of signages and so forth. Okay. Another thought was having event sponsorships. We've had Santa at Sardis for any number of years, and the thought is, well, a given corporation could have the sponsorships rights for that as, if you will, a fundraiser for the foundation. We do have, we're expanding, or looking to expand the number of board members from 7 to 9. We do have one application in, and we expect additional ones. And the next meeting is May 6th.
All right, thank you, Carl. Jamie?
Next meeting of the Planning Commission is April 30th.
All right. Matt?
All right, the Environmental Action Committee, it was last Thursday. I was not able to attend, but I did get the Cliff Notes version.
Okay.
In regards to the Castiglione development, items 3A, so the site drawings show buffers for several water courses and wetlands with individual lots. These water courses and wetlands are in the headwaters of a high-quality stream, Steel Run. EAC is concerned that these buffers may not prevent encroachment by future lot owners and subsequent.
Do you have your mic on?
Oh, thank you. Oh, I did not. Do you want me to start that all over again?
No, you're good. Keep going.
EAC is concerned that these buffers may not prevent encroachment by the future lot owners and subsequent degradation of the stream, and suggests that deed restrictions be in place and recorded to draw homeowners' attention to the buffer areas. Second item was considering the steep slopes within the plan, the presence of the landslide-prone soils. EAC recommends that earth moving be supervised on site by a qualified engineer. And the third item, the developer proposes plantings to provide visual screening in detention basins. EAC requests that plants be identified and that invasive species be avoided.
Okay,
And these meetings are the last Tuesday of each month.
great, thank you. Eli?
Yeah, the pension committee is not meeting till May 9th, Thursday, May 9th, so no update.
All right, great. And then I'll go for Parks and Recreation. So a couple things that came up. We actually just had a meeting here tonight at 6 because we had to change the meeting from last week. Bill Payano reported from Public Works. They did 12 yards of concrete at Sardis to pave the areas. The pavilion there was a little bit unsafe, they felt, so they've been redoing the inside of that pavilion, new structure posts, new concrete, everything, hardy board on the side, so it's really starting to look really nice. So Duff Park, they've completed building the pavilion and whatnot. They're still working out there to move a lot of that dirt and finish up things there. The community park restrooms are open and clean. Shane Shoemaker, who is a Boy Scout at Scout Knob, He is the scout who completed the Scout Knob flagpole project for his Eagle project, so thank you very much, Shane, for that. We have a final push at Kelman to try to get those trails cleared up. We're working on that now. It's kind of a little wet, so they've been pushing it back a little bit till we can get down in there. As we said before, keep an eye out for the new Parks and Recreation tent. We're going to try and have that at all community events just to bring awareness to what's going on with all of our parks and recreation and just put eyeballs on it so people can participate, help out, be active as part of it. So keep your eye peeled for that. There's a health fair scheduled for April 29th. Amy's coordinating the project. It'll be held from 4 to 7 at the middle school. And we have a new member to the foundation, Nicholas Stubich. Nicholas is a has a wealth management company in the area, and he's putting literature together regarding corporate sponsorships and amenities that Carl was speaking to. So thank you very much, Nicholas, and we're glad to have him on. And I believe there's a few other people that are pretty interested as well that have been coming to the meeting, so that's a great thing. Regarding the park amenities, we're still looking at what the options are. If any community members have input, please tell us. We're looking at possible concrete chess sets, art in the park, different things for like something to set up an area for photo opportunities, maybe at MCP. So those are just some of the ideas that are out there. So please reach out to Parks and Recreation, Carly or Amy, if you have any recommendations for that. Scott Kelsey has resigned from the Parks and Recreation Commission. Scott has been on the commission for years. He's a past president of it. He still is going to be involved in volunteering on his own discretion, but I just want to thank Scott for the time he's put in. He's done a lot for Parks and Recreation. So that's it for that. All right. Next we have workshop items. Administration, we have a discussion and consideration to approve the acquisition of a new fire attack pumper for White Valley Volunteer Fire Department. Mike?
Yes, so we have Fire Chief John Bohink here that's also going to present. I'll have a slideshow for you. I guess for purposes of opening up the presentation to council, we did list it as a discussion item here under 9A. John can come to the podium and present a little bit more about the truck itself. I also listed this item as under 13B to approve the purchase. Should council not be prepared to do that tonight, that is something that can be considered at a future meeting. I am lumping them in together. Not the typical process to have discussion and a vote on the same night, but after John's presentation, if council is satisfied with everything, we'd like to move things along if the case may be, so that we can commit to the purchase price and move the project forward. So again, that's an option that we can get to as to whether council wants to approve it, but I listed both items for this evening. I guess maybe I'll just open up some of the discussion with, they've been conducting a search for a vehicle for several years, but COVID kind of slowed that down. The municipality did budget, has budgeted for this purchase. The budget amount was $800,000 in the most recent budget. It appears that the cost is coming in slightly higher than that. There are some ways to offset that cost, and the municipality is prepared to overcome the cost increase through some of the interest rates and the earnings within that fire equipment fund. So at this point, I'll pull up the presentation and turn things over to John, and certainly any questions that council has, I'm happy to help answer as we move forward through this.
All right, John, the floor is yours. If you don't mind, just state your name and
Hey, John Bohink. I live at 3998 Oregon Street on the eastern side of the municipality, obviously White Valley. I've been the fire chief there since 1999, and this is, I think, my 7th truck I've been directly involved in purchasing. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of history. I'll look at Mike. He can flip the slides here a little bit. Our department started in 1949. We have currently about 40 active members. Would like to always have more. Oh, you're going to give me the clicker?
Left and right, there you go.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Last year, just real quickly, we went on 528 emergency responses. Approximately 181 of those were in our specific district, which is roughly the eastern third of the municipality. Obviously, we respond outside the municipality as well, too. Another 128 were actually in the other two districts in the municipality, and 67 of those were actually fires, structure, brush, vehicle fires, oven fires, chimney fires, those type of things. Our average response lasts about 53 minutes. So every time we go out, we're giving up about an hour of our lives. Man hours, about 2,500, and that does include training, fundraising, other non-emergency activities, meetings, and things like that. This is the current truck that the municipality actually purchased in 2002, 2003. It's a four-wheel drive truck with a 1,500 gallon per minute pump on it. It's been a really good truck for us, but like anything else, it's starting to get old, starting to show some wear and tear. It's kind of unique to the municipality. It's the only four-wheel drive engine pumper that we have now. It's used when we have the heavy snows and things like that. We'll get a little bit more in detail and stuff like that, but this is what we're trying to replace. I said 1,500 gallon of water, or a 1,500 gallon per minute pump, 500 gallon of water, has a generator on it, has a light tower, lighting, and that type of things. It has a deck gun, and it's a commercial four-wheel drive chassis with the box on the back right behind the cab. That seats 4 other additional firefighters. Obviously, nowadays everybody's inside. The old days when we used to hang on the back are gone, and so forth. The municipality bought the truck for $322,000, roughly 26 years ago now. Or no, I'm going the other way, 21 years. On our fire calls, it actually responds about 50% of the actual fire-related calls, mostly now for brush and woods fires. We call that our rural truck. So if we go out in areas like Hilty Road, Kemmer Hollow Road, Italy Road, those type of areas, this is the first truck that we take out because of the short wheelbase, the four-wheel drive, those capabilities. It's because of the angle, the height of the truck, it allows us to get up the steep driveways. The short wheelbase gets us around the curvy driveways. As you notice, some of the residents like to have long, lengthy driveways now in the municipality. Most trucks, they only carry between 1,000 and 1,500 feet of hose. So chances are you're only going to get one truck up the driveway, and hopefully the truck is maneuverable enough to get up some of the driveways. We've used this truck several times now in the floodwaters. It's nice with the elevation. When Old William Penn floods, Borland Farm Road floods, we can drive with that big bumper. We drive right up to the vehicle that these people were stuck in. We can take them right out, put them on a bumper, and get them out of the high water. Obviously, during heavy snow events, and we've even pulled public works trucks out when they get sometimes stuck, when we get these real big, heavy snowmageddons and so forth. So it has been a very useful truck for us and the municipality in a whole. Basically, what's going to happen, the NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, basically says in 25 years, the truck has its useful life. It can't be really brought up to current standards. Since 2003, there's been 2 major updates to the vehicles to make them more safe. One of them is the data recorder and things like that go inside. It's mandatory in these vehicles now. But obviously, each revision has greatly increased the cost of these vehicles as well, too. There were some equipment changes and some of things like that the NFPA added and so forth. There's still a market for the non-compliant fire trucks. A lot of the smaller rural departments down south look for these types of apparatus that have very, very limited budgets that might only respond to 25, 50 calls a year. We're estimating that we can get approximately $30,000 to $80,000. I brought some examples of some trucks. A 1993 truck is listed at $40,000, a 2000 is $75,000, 59,000, another 2000 is 75,000, and a 2005 is 135,000. A couple years ago, I was offered 60,000 for our truck, the current truck, but they wanted it right then and now. So that offer obviously has gone away. What we can do is sell directly to individual department. There's a magazine that we get called PA Fireman. It's distributed in all 50 states. The ads are free. And there's also commercial used fire apparatus, and I listed a few on there. And I believe we started that process with Murrysville's old ladder truck to try to do that, and then it ended up getting sold to a neighboring department. Well, not neighboring, close by. The purchase process, we started this process back in the day when it was Franklin Township, believe it or not. I was just starting to get involved. Well, I didn't think I was a fireman back then when the process started. They originally consisted of the chief and one of the assistant chiefs of each department had agreed to sign off of it. Since then, we've kind of refined that a little bit. We're down to the 3 chiefs, the chief administrator, the finance director, and the mayor now. We all sit down and we go over looking at the truck. We try not to duplicate too many items within the municipality, but obviously some of the factors like time and distance require some duplication of equipment, mainly pumpers. Ladder trucks are unique, tankers are unique, and so forth like that, but you always need an engine. So once we start to look at needs, we also look at vendors. Our preferred vendor in this case is Precision Fire Apparatus. They're located in Missouri. They are a HGAC approved vendor, similar to CoStars, the same principle as CoStars. They have built 6 trucks for the municipality already, Precision Fire Apparatus. 5 of those in our station. We have had very, very good luck with them. They are 13 miles away, but they seem like they're next door. They're very responsive and so forth. One of the things they did for us in 2012, and this gets into why Michael kind of put this onto the voting agenda, we're constantly faced with EPA changes with the engines. Every time they bring out a new EPA change, and I'm sure you deal with that with Public Works as well, there's been a big increase in cost. Precision Fire Apparatus, when we bought our last truck in 2012, went and secured an old motor for us, for the municipality, at a cost of $5,000 to hold that engine until they were ready to build. That roughly saved us at that time about 70, well, I think it was about 40,000. This time we're on a clock again with motors. The new compliant motor is coming out in 2027, and that's going to increase the cost of this truck another $70,000 to $75,000. So we're kind of fighting the clock a little bit. There is no guarantee that we're going to get an L9, a pre-2027 compliant engine. So every day that goes, the chances slide away. Precision has offered to immediately upon getting a purchase order, we'll order that chassis. They were not ready to build on it, obviously, but they will order that to get that in a production line in hopes of getting that EPA pre-27 compliant motor for us. They will store it inside and so forth. And I'm kind of getting a little ahead of myself, but I just wanted to put that all out there. But that's what they're willing to do for us. And then when that chassis comes in, the municipality would pay the fee for the chassis, the cost of the chassis. any questions, stop me at any time. I tend to ramble sometimes. And this is what I just basically said. PFA will order that chassis. They will hold that chassis. That chassis is $522,176. And basically, it's a 13-month delivery time for chassis. The chassis manufacturer, before they started cutting the engines off, they were building about 80 trucks a month. Now they're up to about 120 because everybody's trying to get these chassis in before the cost goes up. Sometime in late 2026, early 27, the truck would be completed. We would accept delivery, and the balance then would be due, and that's 456, 657. Oh, this got flipped. We can't flip that around, can we?
Might be able to.
Okay.
That's okay.
So if you turn your head a little bit sideways, this is kind of what we're looking at. Basically, it's the same truck, only it's a new modernized truck. Instead of a commercial chassis, it's what we call in the industry a custom chassis. It's more fireman friendly. The steps aren't as high as our last truck. It allows us to have more compartment space. The wheelbase of this truck is actually identical to our current truck, and it's actually only 9 inches longer in entirety. But the wheelbase from axle to axle is the same. The cramp angle on it's better. Our turning is going to be better. It's still four-wheel drive. It's still 1,500 gallon per minute pump, and so forth. It's going to have a lot more compartment space than our existing truck. It'll carry more hose.
John,
Yes,
I know you're still in the process of doing that, but I know that we have a summary here, and it went from like 800,000 up to 1.15 million, and then the ultimate price it was reduced. So what was there anything taken out of your original requirement?
We're coming right to that.
Okay.
You're about 2 slides in front of me.
Okay.
He's a thinker.
But good question. So how did this get to where we're at? So we started this project back in early 2019. Typically, we're on a 20-year cycle. Typically, there's a 2-year build time. It takes you about a year to spec a truck out, do it properly. So we started late 2019. At that time, we were at $715,000 for the truck. Then we had COVID. We were a little bit over budget. We were trying to sell the old ladder truck to offset that budget difference. The mayor has kind of drilled into us that if the money's there, we're okay, but we're not going to borrow money to pay for fire trucks. So we had to develop a new funding mechanism to compensate. COVID started a rapid rise in the cost of fire trucks. You're looking at a 4% increase every 3 months. And that's basically since COVID went up. The only thing COVID took place in the way the economy has been. I'm going to go in and show you some other trucks. So basically, that $715,000 went to $1.15 million in that period of time. So what did we do? First of all, we took the generator off the truck. Generators now are starting to be a thing of the past on fire trucks. We used to have 15, 20 kW generators. Now, a lot of our equipment is battery powered. Our fans are battery powered. A lot of our hand tools are battery powered. The lighting on the trucks with the new LED lighting and so forth have become much, much, much better. So having a big generator on a truck basically is a luxury, not necessarily a necessity. So that was the first area we cut. We still put a power inverter on it so that we still will have 110 power coming out of the truck for some things that we might need. But basically, we eliminated the generator at $40,000. Eliminated a light tower, basically because the lighting on the side of the trucks now are so much better. We used to have this electric elevated light tower that we could swivel and stuff like that. That, again, that would be something nice to have, but we could do without that. the way the lighting is now. That was $31,000. The fire department decided we were going to take the loose equipment off. That was going to be roughly $21,000. Loose equipment, typically we get with a truck. We will pay for that equipment ourselves out of our budget, but that was like ladders, flashlights to get installed when a truck's being made, radio equipment, wheel chalk. Well, I think we left the wheel chalks in for some reason, but that's a couple $100. But things like that, and there's a list in there that we took out, but roughly it adds some battery-powered lighting and stuff like that we're going to supply. We took that out. That's $22,000. Took out the airbag, the supplemental restraint system, $12,000. That's a little bit of a safety issue. I was kind of leery on that, but being the way the trucks are built and constructed, if you're relying on an airbag in a fire truck in an accident, you're going to have a lot more serious problems to deal with. Other biggest thing we did is we went from a stainless steel body to an aluminum body with a lot of consternation with that decision. We're going to still keep a stainless steel substructure. We do have one aluminum truck in our fleet. The rest are stainless steel. That's going to save $20,000. But the biggest part of that is it's about 4,400 pounds of weight difference going from stainless to aluminum. So it allowed us to go from a 500-gallon water tank to a 750-gallon water tank and still be about 2,000 pounds lighter. And basically we were able to lower the rear axle by one axle. So there were some savings there with that in the suspensions and all that. And then there was a handful of other smaller little things that we just went through line item by line item by line item and said, do we need, do we not need? And we took that out. And the mayor actually sat in one of those meetings with us, and we went through a lot of that. So we got that down to $978,833. So did that answer your question, sir?
Yes, yes. The 978 now, that's not net, meaning the anticipated 80K for selling your current truck. That has nothing to do with
that. That has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
And that also has nothing to do if we can't get the 327 EPA compliant motor. So
Okay.
there could be a swing either way there. We hope that swing comes down in the net by selling the other truck, and we're actively working on doing that as we speak, and so forth.
Hey, John, is there a sales tax on this thing?
No.
Okay, good.
And that price is guaranteed. The only way that price changes, one, is that EPA compliant motor, or two, we do something as a change order from the department standpoint, and we will pick that cost up as well. So some other trucks that I found kind of comparable, just to give you an idea. Youngstown, right here, it was just in the paper not too long ago. They just took delivery of an engine. It was $880,000. They signed their contract in early of 2022. That truck now is $1.2 million if you ordered it today. It has a stainless body. It has a bigger pump. It has a bigger motor, but it's not four-wheel drive. There was a company down in Maryland, same thing, signed their contract in 22 for $980,000. That truck is now $1.4 million. That's an aluminum truck. It's a big truck. It's a tandem axle. Has 1,000 gallon of water, 1,500 gallon per minute pump. Has a big motor, but again, it's not four-wheel drive. There's another one for $951. Aluminum, 1,500. The small motor, which is what we're getting. So this is just around where we're at. This is at $951, but it's not four-wheel drive. And then another one for 1.1, it's more of a rescue, or it has a big block motor, a bigger tank, and it's still aluminum. It's a pumper tanker, not so much what we have, but it was, again, just signed for $1.1 million. To kind of wrap this up, we're still going to have to outfit the truck. We're going to put in roughly about $270,000 between hose, breathing apparatus, exhaust fans, hand tools, nozzles, all that kind of stuff, ladders, fire extinguishers, and so forth. So that's kind of what I have, and I'll answer any questions.
John, thank you for a great presentation. A lot of information there, so thank you very much. I know it took some time. Open it up for questions, council. Anyone have any questions for John?
Did you say it was you had a 500-gallon tank or a 750?
Originally, we had a 500-gallon tank spec'd. Because we went from stainless to aluminum, it allowed us to add another 250 gallon to make it 750.
Okay.
That basically equates to another 1.5 to 2 minutes inside of a building. Our hand lines roughly, they're about 125 gallon a minute. So we get that extra 2 minutes. Sometimes that makes a difference.
Yeah.
The last item you mentioned, $270,000 worth of additional costs. Who's picking up that tab?
The department does that. A lot of that money is through the foreign fire insurance that we get, the 2% money, if you're familiar with that. That's where a lot of that equipment money comes from, and then our own fundraisers and things like that that we've done. We'll transfer some of the equipment from the old truck, but that's a balancing act. If you start taking too much stuff off, then you start to lower the value of the truck you're trying to get rid of. So we have to kind of play that as we go. But like I said, we're under the gun on that engine, and been doing this. I've been chief since 1999. What's that? 25 years now, something like that. And this is the toughest fire truck I ever had to buy. I was upset. I want to say another adjective, but I won't. Through this whole process, it's just the most frustrating. Every time we picked up the phone or email or talk to any of the builders, it was like, well, that was yesterday's price. Here's today's price. It's crazy. It's totally crazy.
All right.
If I may just add in for council's edification.
Absolutely.
So from a budgetary standpoint, the Emergency Equipment Fund shows an ending balance in 2024 of $1.4 million with an expected purchase of an $800,000 vehicle for White Valley. However, we did sell the ladder truck earlier this year. That amount of funding is not contemplated within the existing budget. Additionally, the municipality wouldn't have to pay for the chassis, as John mentioned. That's the first purchase that we'd have to make on this vehicle. That would be about 12 to 13 months down the road. So there's still more time for this account to continue to grow. And just for council's purposes, there's roughly around $460,000 and that goes into this account each year. So that account balance will continue to grow. So the municipality is prepared and able to accept the increase in cost at this point in time. And it would make sense from a financial standpoint to commit to the purchase based on everything that John has presented, the nature of the purchase of fire vehicles, at this point in time, and we're prepared from a budgetary standpoint to handle that. So, again, if there are any questions about the financial side of it, it certainly help to answer that. But the Emergency Equipment Fund is prepared to handle the purchase if council so desires.
And standard delivery time industry-wide now is a minimum of 2 years. It's probably 2 to 4, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay.
So the initial amount that we would pay, as John had in his slideshow, is around $520,000 in about a year's time. The remaining amount would be due in late 26 or early 27. So again, plenty of time for the account to continue to grow. Interest rates are up, and the account has grown substantially in that regard as well. So, and again, there's an entire schedule of purchases laid out. So we're on track with things. Certainly this cost comes in above where we initially anticipated, a number of years ago, but this was kind of planned out pre-COVID, and so we're adapting as we move forward.
And what's the current balance in the account you said?
Again, this is under the funding schedule in the budget for 24, and this is an unaudited total. but it looks to be around 1.4 million
Today.
today, yes. And actually, I think the actual count is higher than that, just based the way on the ladder truck sale, the way the funding has come in, and interest rates and the amount we burned on the account itself. So,
Okay.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
John, did they give you any indication if this were voted on tonight and goes through, the chance of getting that engine block that was pre-2027? Did they give you like a percentage, like we're 80% sure? Or?
The exact words is every day is one chance less.
Okay.
There's, I don't know if you shared the actual specs with them,
I think it's in the support folder there.
but there's big bold based lettering that says if the L series motors are not available at the time the chassis goes on the line, the automatically price increase will go up.
Okay.
And that's, we tried the same route. We had Precision call Spartan, which is the chassis manufacturer, and say, if we give you money today, would you hold a motor? They don't even want to get involved in that. Yeah. So,
I guess when we go to the voting section, should there be when we get there, I guess we can discuss it, something in the motion to include for accounting for the possibility that it might increase by an additional $70,000, which it is not included in there.
Correct. I listed the specific dollar amount, so if you want to eliminate that and just agree to the purchase, if there were a cost overrun, you could do
I didn't
that.
want something to prevent that
Yeah,
because the motion
yeah.
wasn't correct. Okay.
Sure.
Right. Okay. No, we can alter that. I'll say I've visited our departments. We're lucky as a community. They're so well run. I will say the one thing that all of these departments is they really take a lot of pride in the equipment that we purchase. We spend a lot of money as a municipality on that equipment, but it's a lot easier to do that when you see how it's treated by the fire department. So certainly we appreciate,
we appreciate what you guys do for us.
take a lot of pride in,
Believe me, we're fortunate to be firemen in the municipality of Murrysville.
well, we appreciate you. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone got anything? The mayor had a meeting. He had to step out, so if anyone needed anything from him, he's available. Engineering. I don't think we have anything, Mike.
Nope, all the way down to Public Works and Parks.
Nothing on community development or public works and parks. This will be a discussion regarding the expansion of the current Parks and Recreation Foundation Board from 7 members to 9 members. You're going to address some of that?
Sure. So just simply, the Parks and Rec Foundation does have a set of defined bylaws. The board themselves have the ability to amend their own bylaws. They are looking at increasing the number of the board from 7 to 9 members, as Max stated. They'd like to allow additional residents to be involved in that board. Additionally, I think that their plan is to remove the mayor and a dedicated council member as members of the board, and again, to fill those seats with members of the community, and again, to try to grow support and effort for the foundation. Being that they have the ability to amend their own bylaws through a process that they have stated in those bylaws, they could take this action upon themselves unilaterally. However, we thought it would be prudent to bring this item to council just for either purposes of elaborating, letting council know that that's going to take place, and also for any discussion that may take place on the topic. So again, the board can kind of do this on their own, but we thought it would just be helpful for council to hear that and be aware that they are anticipating making a change like this in case there are any questions or any feedback.
Yeah, and I'll chime in because we just discussed this at the Parks and Recreation meeting, and I think it's a great thing, changing and altering this and moving forward with it. When you look at it, you have the board members that are there when we established this. The mayor's considered one of those, the council liaison, so they're going to kind of step back into more of an advisory role. So they'll still be present, they'll still be involved in it. It's just we have people that are employed by the municipality or a part of the municipality as elected officials that are there, and we have community members that want to go and do fundraising and do this and do that. that's what we're always looking for. So I think this is a great thing. And I know they didn't have to, it's not something that council necessarily has to approve, but I think, we were part of the, when it was founded, the foundation and whatnot. So that's kind of what we discussed there. So that's my 2 cents.
No, I'd echo what Max said. Both the mayor and myself will continue our participation, and I think it's a good thing. And I'd say, appreciate it's been brought to council, and I'd say the council would say it's not going to be voted on, if you will. But if any questions from council, I'm for it.
Me as well. Anyone else?
Eli?
All right. Okay.
One of the easier.
I guess it's not a voting thing.
maybe
but
the-
No, again,
sort of approved.
Yes, somewhat confusing, but again, put on the agenda just so the council can become aware of it, and also that the community is aware of it as well. But again, through the bylaws, they can, again, take this action upon themselves, but I just thought it'd be helpful for everybody to be aware.
Yep.
How will the other 2 members be selected? Is it like a nomination process, volunteer process?
Yeah, I believe within the foundation it is. The Parks and Recreation Committee is a little different because I think council appoints that, whereas this would be they would do it within their own body. But usually they'll have people that will come to the meetings first and just kind of participate and check it out, share what their expertise is. For instance, this new guy that had come in, Nick, he's big in getting fundraising and what. How they start their process, and then they would nominate and vote within the foundation for it. All right, I think we'll move on from there. Go on to council action items. 13A, can I get a motion for 13A?
Motion to approve 2024 cost of living adjustment for the uniform pension plan retirees.
Jamie and Eli, thank you.
This item is the 2024 cost of living adjustment, the COLA. It is a 3.1% increase for eligible retired members of the police pension plan. This is an item that is dictated by the collective bargaining agreement. Each year, the cost of living adjustment is made based on the through Mackinac Benefits Group that provides us the number based on the National Urban Cost of Living Index. So that's what the determining factor is for what the increase shall be annually. So this is more of a kind of a procedural item as is laid out in the collective bargaining agreement.
Just curious, what was it last year?
Shoot, I don't know that number offhand, and it's not in the briefing, but I could probably look back as we're talking here and see if I can find it. And I'm not sure if last year was as substantial as maybe the prior year, but I can certainly look back and see if I can give you that answer real quick. Sure enough, I don't have Dropbox.
While Mike's looking
access
for that, are there
to the
any
prior
other
year
questions from
meetings.
council?
No.
I can maybe give that to you after the meeting if you'd like, and obviously I know you're trying to familiarize yourself with the pension system as well, so I can give you some of that data, that way you have it moving forward. I apologize that I don't have it this evening.
Okay, we'll do a vote on this. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
I would make sure
Approve
that
that.
you ask if there are any opposed.
Any opposed? All right. Okay. Next is 13B. Can I get a motion for 13B? Well, and first, council, everyone okay with moving forward with the vote on this? This is the truck that was just discussed.
I would suggest maybe putting the motion out there if somebody is willing to do so, if there's a second, and then you can make that determination on whether you want to move forward with a vote.
Yep.
I'll motion to approve the purchase of a Precision Spartan 4x4 pumper truck for White Valley Volunteer Fire Department. No amount indicated.
I think that makes sense.
Second.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie and Matt, thank you. We already discussed this, so I guess really, any other final questions before
Where
we
was the
vote?
amount mentioned?
So we're going to do without an amount in case the other engine doesn't come. That way, we don't have a specific amount for it. But obviously, you know, any change orders would come through Michael and would come through the
Okay.
If anything were to change outside of those two scenarios,
Right.
I would imagine that we would bring this back to council for consideration.
Right.
Yeah, it can't be an unlimited.
Correct.
Not unlimited.
John's adding all kinds of
Yeah.
5 trucks coming your way.
He's got 2 phones in his ear.
The contract is actually has that dollar amount on there, so there would have to be a change order submitted.
Right, okay. All right, so I think the motion is okay as it stands. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. We're going to go to 14, Community Development, 14A. Can I get a motion for 14A?
A motion to consider award of contracts for various road materials.
We're on 14.
14A.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, 14A.
Right here.
Got it. Okay. 14A, approve resolution number 788-24, a resolution amending the municipality's official sewer management plan, Whispering Pines subdivision, a 6-lot subdivision, Logan Ferry Road, R2 zoning.
Second.
All right, thank you, Carl and Jamie. Mike?
Yes, this is, again, the Act 537 plan is the state's plan for each municipality has to adopt in order to facilitate and manage their sewer control and sewer system and the water quality within the municipality. In this case, anytime a new development is put forth, the Act 537 plan must be amended through a planning module. In this case, this resolution is for Green Space Realty LLC, which proposes to develop a 6-lot, single-family subdivision on 19 acres of land. The sewage module was reviewed and approved by staff. It meets all of the criteria. They would be tying into the FTMSA system. So this is in some ways a formality to move that project forward. Everything has been reviewed by the sewage enforcement officer of the municipality.
Okay. Before we vote, any questions from council?
Although I want to apologize. I was reading from the resolution that is listed in the Dropbox, but I see that the motion was for Whispering Pines on Logan Ferry. So there may be a typo in the resolution I was reading from.
But the motion that is
Well,
put forward is the correct?
I just want to be sure that I'm referencing the correct location. I believe Green Space Realty is Whispering Pines, but I would say that, again, to be sure, the resolution language under 14A is correct. The Whispering Pines subdivision off of Logan Ferry, R2 zoning.
Okay. So the motion's okay as it stands then?
Yes.
All right. Any questions, anyone? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unopposed? All right, motion passes. Move on to nothing for engineering. Move on to 16, Public Works, 16A. Can I get a motion for 16A?
Motion to award contracts for various road materials and line painting for the Department of Public Works for the contract year June 1st, 2024 to May 31st, 2025.
Good evening, council. As I'm here every year, same thing, this is up, that's down. One thing that has me a little worried is the stone is up this year. With the events we've had here the last couple of weeks, we're going to use a bunch of stone here, replacing edges and whatnot along roads. So that's an issue. There's nothing I can do about it. It's raising itself, and we'll work around it. As I said here before, we'll just try to pick the things that are down and try and concentrate on those. I will bulk up on stone, being that some of these raise around $2 to $5 a ton. I have another month or two to stock up on the old contract, and I'll make sure that happens.
Bill, Why would the price of stone be going up? What would account for that? Just out of curiosity.
Fuel,
like-
powder for explosives, that's all, that rock's blasted. Trucking, of course, the diesel fuel's up, so to truck it, it's more.
Okay.
Something that's really strange here, the 1B limestone chips that we use for sidewalks and parking lots, that's up to $50 a ton. And if you, on the handout and the support documents, actual asphalt binder through Derry Construction is $2 more. And they had to use oil in another process to make asphalt. So I'm just wondering, does it really cost $50 a ton to make that product?
Yeah.
So again, we'll work our way around not using as much of that. We do propose to do some seal chip roads this year. So much of that product that comes back from sweeping or extras that are ordered, that'll go into our stock, and we'll try to use it too.
Okay. No, yeah, Mother Nature was not too kind to you here the last.
No, especially with the stone.
We appreciate everything that you're doing. Okay. Any questions from council for Bill? All right, we'll go ahead and vote on that. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Any old business?
No old business?
Any new business?
No, sir.
There is no executive session, I don't
I would say, based on some of the public comment, we could have a brief executive session just to give council an update on the legal aspect of
Okay.
the matter that was presented.
All right, so we'll have a short executive session, but there will be no action coming out of that executive session. Action items? Nothing. And I guess one last motion.
Motion to adjourn.
To adjourn. Okay.
All right, thank you, guys. That ends the meeting.